What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. It's gonna be a quick one, but it's gonna be a really good one. I think this is one of the coolest videos I've had the opportunity to stop and make. I'm just glad I had my camera with me. So I was driving in the gate. Now this is on an MLD property that I'm on with Dad. As much as I like to run a gun and run around and hunt the national forest and do all that stuff, I do get on this property with Dad because the primary goal of mine is to make sure that Dad and I get to spend that time together, because he's not gonna run those woods, go on those long hikes. So anyway, big pine timber plantations, all that kind of stuff, giant woods as far as the eye can see. There's just so much wood and different types of terrain out here, but super thick, typical East Texas ground, hard to hunt if you ask anybody. But I was coming in the gate this morning, I saw something really cool. There was a doe bedded right up here. All right, here we go. So there's the buoy, and here's the stake where she was laying with her back against. You can see her prints when she decided to skedaddle and she'd seen enough of me, or she stuck her hooves in the ground and got out of here. And she turned and ran down there towards my car. Look at my car down there. Yeah, I even brought the car out here. She ran right here, went right there. She cut up in that thicket. So, but I think what's really cool about where she was laying right up here, she had her back against this pond and she was looking out across this clear cut. This clear cut's about probably not even, 2.5 years old. It's starting to grow up. There's a little finger of woods, but she was facing this way and she has her back against this huge pond. So nothing can get to her. She'll either hear it, it can't come straight to her, it has to come down this fence line. But what's really odd is that I was like, well, it's summer, man. The wind's out of the south. She's up at the top of that hill. This is north back here. She wouldn't be laying there with that wind in her face, trying to come up the hill, right? When I got up here, I think it's just one of those dry, less humid mornings. This wind is actually coming off this pond, and this was happened about 7:30 in the morning, and the sun was already over the trees, and it was warm, but this wind is coming off the top of this pond and down towards this clear cut, and she's laying there with her back, and you can see the grass here right on the edge of the pond is barely leaning out towards the road. And I try to get a good shot of it where you can see that wind's blowing to the north and pushing it down. So she's laying here with the wind at her back plus this giant pond that nothing can get to her, and she's watching this road right here, which is the main access to this lease. Oil workers, lease members, all the kind of stuff come down through here, and she did not care. She knows that. She's laying right here watching that gate, and she probably wouldn't have stayed here all morning. Once it got hot, she probably would have retreated over to some of the thick cover, but she decided to lay right here because it was literally one of the most secure places that she could get right now. And she watched me all the way until I parked in front of her, and then she stopped just for a few seconds, and she decided, okay, that's not a good sign, and she left. But other than that, she was going to let me walk on by. And I think that's a great example of what you can expect and how many deer those of us probably walk by on a hunt by hunt basis. But it also goes to show you, even in this huge woods, key characteristics of land that you hear people talk about, you can still trust that, when you're just walking in blind or you're taking a guesstimation on where deer might be. It's as good a guess as any out here, because if they're not there, that's fine, because they're probably not in some of the other spots you thought they were either. But when all of these conditions came together for her to be right here, somewhere along here, she was here. And she was not a young doe. She was probably a 3-year-old doe, beautiful deer, big hind legs, big quarters. It was just beautiful. But that was very cool to see and kind of stop and really think about it. And I encourage everybody to do that. Stop and think about your encounters, think about why they occurred, where those deer were coming from, and it really starts to make sense. Plus, seeking resources that you trust, guys that have been in the industry for a long time, that are really not in it for the money, they have a passion, and to see how those things line up and actually come out to be true. So that's it for today's video. I'm boiling out here. It's like 94. We did some chores this weekend. We're headed back home. I'm gonna give an update on the clover plot. Super cool. It's gonna, we're gonna break that thing down pound by pound for what we were required to add, what we did, and how it worked compared to last year. So thanks for stopping and watching this video, guys. If you haven't, do me a huge favor. We just busted 200 subscribers. such a huge blessing. Thank you for so much. I mean, that's not a lot to some people, but that's 200 people have pledged to give me a little bit of their time and giving me the opportunity to come back and keep improving and keep getting better. So I won't take any more of your time, guys. Thank you. God bless. We'll see you on the next video.